Welcome everyone to Ladder Daily Digest. We honor creators, and on Tuesdays we invade Tim Rathbone's house virtually, and we sit around in his living room, and we talk about a topic for about 3 minutes, and then we talk about whatever the hell we want. But tonight's episode is on interpreting dreams, and Megan is somehow a certified dream interpreter, and she'll be talking about those things pretty soon. And
now,
so
let's
anyhow,
not be telling lies about me. The truth is so much better.
the truth, the truth.
Okay.
I can't stand
She's
the
a
truth.
CDI, as they say in the business, Certified Dream Interpreter.
Yeah.
And by the way, Gene, I might mention that we're coming to you live from the Oregon from the Oregon West Coast, from our remote studios, and broadcasting simultaneously on Momo Nomo.
That's right. So Randy has his channel, Momo Nomo, and at some point I will throw a link up in the description or the chat, and that way if you want to check out Randy's channel, which is just new, has a few things.
Why am I hearing?
You're not hearing me?
No, I'm hearing everything double.
Probably because you have another tab open with the show on. That's just my guess.
Or your phone. Is your phone on?
Let me. I'm closing every YouTube.
And so anyhow, one of my earliest dreams, I'll say, and we'll see if Megan can interpret it, is I was in my crib near the window of my bedroom, and we have a cemented culvert, like a creek that is cemented in so it doesn't wash away our backyards. And I guess I had recently seen maybe Pinocchio, and so I thought Monstro, or whoever that is, was. I had recently seen maybe Pinocchio, and so I thought Monstro was going to eat me, swim up the bay into my creek, and jump through my window somehow and gobble me up. And so I don't know what that meant, except for I was just afraid of monsters, I think, when I was young. And then somehow, when I was older, I thought about monsters, and I was just starting to think about the world is really big, and that monsters would rather eat a big city like San Francisco than my small town, San Leandro. And so that helped me for a little while, thinking that the monsters were, or atomic bombs, because that was always a threat, right, Randy and Tim, growing up?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Still is a
Third
threat.
World
What
War.
do you mean?
Yeah, Third World War. Yeah, after you see like the day after, remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, all those shows. And so I just figured, nobody cares about my little hometown, and we're never going to get invaded, so I could sleep peacefully. So I've slept pretty peacefully since then.
You got to remember, even those small towns were the one, like the focus on like Red Dawn or something like that. It was
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe for a little while when I was 20, I was afraid again.
Megan's either standing perfectly still with the wind continually blowing in the same direction, or her camera's off.
I think it's her camera's off.
Her camera's off.
My camera is definitely off.
How can we relate our dreams to you if we can't look you in the eye?
All she has to do is look in our eyes, Randy.
And call us angel eyes?
This is supposed to make me more mysterious, does it not?
That's right.
Yes, that's what we want. We want a mysterious.
In fact, we should just title you Mysterious Megan.
That's right. Yes. Mysterious Megan.
I'm just laughing. Sorry. At the fact that Gene is showing the comment that says we're almost ready to start.
I think I'm almost ready. We're gathering our wits, which doesn't take long.
speak for yourself. Well, when Randy said he was on, he almost said the east coast of Oregon. I was going to say, if you're on the east coast of Oregon, there's a really big problem.
That's right. There
Right.
must have been a big earthquake. That was the other thing in California we were afraid of, is earthquakes. My dad was
know.
going to buy property in Nevada, and California was supposed to slide in the ocean, and then he was going to have beachfront property.
Yep.
Right. Right.
We're on the second floor, so if the tsunami happens, we are okay.
I I doubt that. I mean, just looking at after Galveston, Texas, when I responded out there, well, that was a Category 2 hurricane, and the floodwaters hit the second floor of the hospital there.
Joshua fit the battles of Jericho.
I remember seeing the commercials for Jericho, but I don't know if our family ever watched it or anything. Does anybody know what Jericho, the miniseries, was about?
No, I didn't watch Jericho.
The aftermath of nuclear war. I never watched it. I think I watched one episode of it. I don't remember.
We are dreamy. Boy, you got us there.
So Megan and I had a wonderful time at Sunstone, and it was pretty cool. We had a lot of interesting things happen. And the very first thing before even Sunstone started, we got to have lunch with Ganesh, not lunch, but dinner with Ganesh Chirian and a couple of other, we'll say, creative people, an author and or at least a writer of, what do you call them? What do you call those smart people at school, in college? Scholars. There were scholars there.
Yeah, and every hour that you were at Sunstone, I was not.
Nor was I.
That's right.
And I think that I join in with Gene and Jules to say that we're a little bit green with envy, especially after seeing the pictures of all the fun you were having.
Yep, it was fun. Oh, I guess
Definitely next year.
I can make one announcement. Tomorrow is my 42nd anniversary.
Congratulations.
It only seems like it was 41 years ago that we got married.
And you're now entering into your 43rd year of marriage.
So yeah, and
Randy, my dad used to say something similar. He used to tell people things like, "Yep, we've been married 25 years, 12 of the happiest years of my life."
Wow. Because relationships are hard.
That was his philosophy, yes.
Yeah.
I tell people when they ask my age, tell them I'm 59 and counting.
I tell people I'm
There
742
she
months
is.
old,
There she is.
or 262 trimesters.
Always
know
best
what's,
to use month.
You know what's weird is when you tell someone your phone number, if you really want to screw them up, like if you're on the phone and she says, "Do you have a callback number?" You say, "Yeah, it's area code 602-53-121-6784." I mean, you just totally do it out of sequence, or your social security number, and that just they're like, wait, can you repeat that? Because
That
they're
reminds
used to
me.
copying it down in a sequence, a certain.
What's the
Certainly.
alien family on Saturday Night Live? He was on the movie.
Oh, the Coneheads.
Coneheads.
Somebody asked him for his social security number, and he throws in a couple of letters, and
Randy, that's torturous for spicy brains.
Right.
Now what I do, because I get a lot of people on my stream asking for my phone number because they want to call me via WhatsApp. I'm like, oh sure. I'm like, it's 505, and then I'm all 867, then I go 5309.
Hey,
Danny, I got your number.
and you know, people realize it when I say the 867, but usually I don't think people realize when I'm saying the 5309 because it throws them off when you say the zero. You know, and my mods have caught on to it. You know, and one will even type it in. So feel like just throw these people off. And
Gene, will you
No.
test out that number for us and see if it works, please? I want to know if that's Jules's real number.
Yeah.
So, you know why I'm excited about this being dream night? Is because of my dream last night. And I cannot wait to have you interpret it for me, Miss Megan the Great.
do
Let's
share.
not start calling me that for sure. No, this
Well,
is
what was Kreskin the Great? What was
Yeah,
the guy on
Kreskin.
Johnny Carson? Something the
Kreskin.
Great.
That's
Kreskin.
the great
Kres-
question. Yeah.
Well,
The great
yeah,
Kreskin.
Kreskin the Great. But then there was, remember, he wore this, Johnny
This
wore
one.
this hat, and he'd hold the envelope up to his head and he'd give the answer
Oh,
before
Karnak.
the question.
Oh, yeah.
Karnak.
Karnak the Great.
Well, I will tell you my secret is that I belong to a site for fellow Jungian scholars. And I only say scholars because I know about this much and there's about this much. So that's why I can do Jungian dream interpretation, is because they have a little template that you can kind of click on this, click on that, click on this, click on that in different categories. And then it gives you kind of a loose interpretation as Jung would do it. So, Gene,
What do you do?
I'm ready to hear your dream official. I heard a little bit of it, but I was making food for my daughter, so I need to hear the dream again.
Oh, it was basically I was afraid that Monstero from Pinocchio was going to swim through the Golden Gate up my tiny little creek that connects to the bay and jump through my window and swallow me. That's the essence of it. It could just be I was
There's
a
a
kid.
myriad of people that would love to swim up your tiny little creek.
That's right. We've got about 50 ducks through that creek sometimes. So anyway, Megan, do you interpret your own dreams sometime then?
I do. I'm working on yours here. Give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, you're flipping the switches?
Yes.
The magic is happening right before our very eyes.
I'm like envisioning Mousetrap game right now with the ball rolling down and something going up and the bell ringing. And then what was the very end? Was it a man jumps or was a little plastic guy? Or was it the
Yeah, a
mouse?
little plastic cage that drops down
Cage drops on the mouse.
on a mouse.
All right, Gene, let me make sure I have this right. You were afraid that Monstero, who's the whale from Pinocchio, was going to swim under the Golden Gate Bridge and up your little stream next to your house and eat you.
Yeah, swallow me.
Okay.
I mean, I was probably going to live there for,
Oh,
a certain
okay.
amount of time because I know that you can
but
build.
was that part of your dream? Was you living inside the whale part of your dream?
So like on one hand, I was not as afraid of it eating me because I knew that you could build a fire inside the whale as an escape route.
Okay, that's
some point.
important.
Sounds like a name of a kid's book. Swimming Up My Little Stream.
Okay.
By Gene P. Judson.
All right. So literally, the San Francisco Bridge was in the dream, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And the whale was in the dream.
Yes.
And him swimming up the little river next to your house was in the dream.
Yes.
Okay. All very important. So anyway, it's going to take a minute or two for it to think about it.
So while Megan's going through that, everybody can think of other dreams. Randy, you had a dream last night?
Oh my gosh, did I? Well, I dream every night, but last night's was particularly interesting to me. But my dreams are like in full color, like watching a movie. And sometimes they're oh so realistic, as was last night's.
Church of Corridor Horror has
Okay.
already interpreted the dream.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, it's
Or at
only
least part of it.
no. He's talking about the actual story.
Or his interpretation of the actual story.
Ah, interesting. Deep. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready, Gene?
Ready?
Okay. It's still kind of going, but I'll start with this part. Okay. So the whale, Monstro, represents the vast unconscious. So the self is thinking about, or like the self is like your highest self, like the best version of Gene is thinking of primordial depths, immense, mysterious, and potentially transformative. In myths like Jonah, it's a vessel for rebirth, the whale is. Tied to Pinocchio, Monstro evokes trials leading to authenticity. Pinocchio's journey from puppet to real boy mirrors individuation. And then the archetypal motif of being swallowed or eaten by the whale is a descent into the unconscious for integration. Into the unconscious for integration, facing the belly of the whale as a depressive or transformative state leading to renewal. It may symbolize engulfment by aging's quote unknown, like mortality or loss, yet with survival potential. The Golden Gate Bridge symbolizes the gateway of linking conscious to unconscious. It evokes interchange or bridging life phases. The stream next to your house represents personal invasion by the unconscious. So your unconscious coming into consciousness. Threatened by fluid, which represents emotional forces. Building a fire inside the whale is a creative adaptation. Fire symbolizes spirit, transformation, like Geppetto's escape in Pinocchio, suggesting that you have inner resources for rebirth. And the final theme is fear versus knowledge. Ambivalence compensates overly rational conscious views, urging acceptance of the unconscious.
That was prophetic.
People
Is
call
this
me
thing on?
unconscious. People call me unconscious when I would play basketball because it would look to them like I wasn't even looking at the rim, and I would take a shot and it would go in. So, and they would say that I couldn't consciously be aiming and making all those baskets. It had to be something I wasn't in control of. Look, we have Germany.
Divine intervention.
Good morning. Guten Morgen.
Good morning, AT Chick.
AT Chick, yeah.
Your
So
fan
what do you
from
think,
Germany's
Gene?
here.
Was that accurate at all to how you were feeling?
You know, it's hard to tell since I was young, right? Not Carl Jung, but Gene Jung.
You were, the younger version of Gene.
And so, but I think there were lots of things going on, in our family. I have 2 older brothers and 2 younger brothers, so there always was action and activity.
Yeah.
But it took my
Randy?
conscious self to stop dreaming those dreams because I rationalized that I was protected from Monstro just from my location.
Yes, Megan.
Are you ready to tell me your amazing, fantastic dream?
Absolutely. So last night I dreamt that I had become some sort of a doctor's assistant. And it was a fancy doctor's office. And it was on a weekend. And he told us he wanted us all to come in because we were going to have a photo shoot for a magazine. And so I came in and I thought it was strange that I was coming in as his assistant because, first of all, I was new. And second of all, I didn't feel nearly important enough to be featured in this magazine with all the other people who had been with him for quite some time, the nurses, the staff. And I remember that I had a gun, a weapon that I put in my pants to hold it like a holster and put my shirt over it because I just didn't want to leave it anywhere. And I figured I could put it in a locker when I got there. When I arrived, the doctor was not there, but all the nurses were, and I realized that I needed to dress up a lot more than I was dressed up. So I ran into the locker area. However, the locker area was located off of a garage that was a big autopsy or a big embalming room. And all of these embalmers, there were about 8 of them, were working on bodies. They had come in on the weekend to catch up. And so I remember looking over at the bodies, but then trying to look away. And I don't know why, because it didn't scare me. But I walked into the next room where several of the body parts were that either had to be sewn on, and there was a severed head there that they were working on the body, getting ready to reattach the head. And he looked up at me and he was trying to communicate with me. And, I tried to play it off casual and just kept walking by. And I walked into this locker area and realized I had no clothes to put on. So I'm looking for some type of an outfit that would fit me, that belonged to someone else. And this is kind of a recurring theme when I'm supposed to speak in church or do any other thing. I always don't have an outfit to wear. But in this particular dream, I couldn't find anything to wear, so I stayed really casual and walked out. And there was it was like an old Western town where they were snapping the photographs, and they were snapping everybody's photographs, and I was waiting for them to get to me. And I waited and waited, and they were doing this group of nurses and that group of nurses, and they never called my name to step up and get my photograph taken. And then while I was waiting, I woke up.
Okay. That's very detailed. I like it. That's rare. Did you know that?
Did I know that it's rare?
Yeah.
No. But please, Mr. Ferrowman, tell me my dream.
You need the card.
Okay, so first I want to make sure that I have this all correct, okay? Last night you dreamt you were a doctor's assistant. The dream took place on a weekend, and the doctor told everyone in the office to come in for a photo shoot for a magazine. Do I have that right so far?
They to come in over the weekend because there was going to be a photo shoot.
Okay.
For a magazine.
Sounds like time and a half is what you're thinking of.
Right? Yeah.
So, Randy, in this dream, you were new to the office and you didn't think you were important enough to be featured in the magazine, especially over other employees that had been there longer.
I had not been there very long. Yes, correct. Exactly.
Okay. And then you had a gun or some other kind of weapon, and you decided to put it in your pants and then put your shirt over it because you didn't want to leave it somewhere.
Correct.
Okay. And then you thought that you were not dressed as formally as you should be because all the nurses and doctors were there. You felt like you needed to dress up. Is that right so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the scene changed and you were in an embalming room. Is that how that
Well,
happened?
I was on my way to the locker area, but I had to pass through this garage
Oh, okay.
where I looked to my right and saw all these embalmers working on corpses, and I had to walk into this area where they had all the body parts and things that they needed to attach, and then
Okay.
on into the locker room. But I passed the severed head, who was eyes were open and its mouth was moving, trying to communicate with me.
Okay, so I got that. And then you said you ignored the head and you kept walking, and
Yes.
that you were unable to find anything in your locker to wear.
That's
So
right.
you stayed in your casual clothes and you walked out onto what looked like a little western town, like the Old West.
Yes, where they were
Okay,
doing the photographing.
right. And then, okay, there we go. And then you were waiting for everybody to come and get you, but they never called your name to get your picture taken.
I was standing on the street watching everyone else, all the other groups get their pictures taken, the nurses and things.
Hmm.
And yeah, waiting for them to call my name, but they called it not.
Okay. Well, here we go. We should play the Jeopardy music.
Dun, 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 dun.
We should definitely do 4 different keys and 6 different time signatures.
Of course, aren't we like supporting a member of the church?
I thought we sounded kind of like the Motab choir.
Maybe at some point, yeah.
Well, the name's available, so
Hi, songs.
reanimator.
I could say we're all a little late too.
Yeah, we are. It's okay. You're here. That's all that counts, songs.
Okay, so here's your the archetypal elements in your dream, Randy. So you being the doctor's assistant represents the persona or your social mask and a desire for, recognition or legacy. Being, quote, new and not as important as others evokes feelings of exclusion, compensating for possible waking life undervaluation. The weekend photo shoot for a magazine symbolizes public image or immortalization through capture. But your wait in vain, meaning like you were waiting for them to take your picture and they never did, highlights unacknowledged contributions. The gun or the weapon hidden in your pants with your t-shirt over it is a symbol of aggression or the animus, which is the inner masculine, which is often tied to the shadow, which are those repressed urges or protective instincts. Hiding it suggests fear of revealing assertive or destructive potentials, perhaps linked to reflections on unlived strength. Interesting. I'll be interested to see how accurate this is for you. The embalming room and dead bodies are the archetypal confrontation with mortality and the blackness phase of alchemy, or the nigredo, which is decay leading to transformation. These symbolize, quote unquote, dead aspects of the psyche needing preservation or revival, and it's common in dreams preparing for life's end. The severed head trying to talk to you dismemberment motifs represent psychic fragmentation. The head or the intellect or ego detached from the body, which is the instinct and emotion, urges integration. Ignoring it symbolizes avoidance of unconscious wisdom, perhaps your rational side severed from deeper feelings. Wow, that's interesting.
Wow.
Inability to find clothes in the locker area is a quest for a suitable persona. Or persona is like the face you show to the world. Undressing and dressing themes tied to vulnerability or identity shifts. Being in an old Western town is the archetypal frontier setting symbolizing wild or the unconscious, the exploration of new territories or cultural myths of individualism and legacy. It evokes American pioneer spirit, perhaps compensating for feeling outdated in modern life.
Wow. That is scarily right on in so many aspects,
Really?
especially being
Wow.
new to podcasting. I mean, if you juxtapose what you just said with my podcasting life, all
Oh,
of
okay.
it fits so perfectly. Trying
Wow.
to decide what persona am I looking for, and what can I do to gain followers and gain the attention that I feel like I'm worth having. And yeah,
And that
I mean,
I don't
there's
appreciate you enough.
that's right. He hates me.
I
But no, it's
I show Randy his worth in how much I pay him.
yeah. Kapow. Kapow. I gotta have more cowbell. Yeah, you know what? That really is insightful, whatever you're doing there, because it just goes right down the line of everything that I've been experiencing emotionally, and trying to figure out where is my niche in all of this. Where do I fit in the podcast world? So that's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, and just so that you know, I didn't put any personal details in there. So this engine just basically puts all the symbology together, and then I think it uses AI to sort of piece together the archetypes to where it matches, because under each archetype there are several subtypes as well, and pairing the main archetypes like the anima animus, which is the male female part of us, and pairing that with the ego and whatever your highest self is, and then trying to put it together with the symbology. So it's kind of cool. It's been pretty
That's
accurate
very
when I've
cool.
put it into. I always have really, really vivid and detailed dreams, like what you described, Randy. And so I've kept a dream journal for a really long time, and I used to take my dreams pretty literally, except that I know there are certain symbols, and so I would think about the symbols, but I really kind of took my dreams literally until I found this, and how accurate it is. And now it's a lot easier for me to identify with the symbols in the dreams and say, okay, that's not literally what's happening. So I used to have this recurring dream of a certain person in my dream. And I always used to think, why am I dreaming about that person? And so I would kind of take it as like, I'm trying to get that person out of my psyche. But when I put all of that stuff into this particular program, it reminded me that this person who's no longer in my life represents all of the past, not just a past with this person in my life, of this friend that's gone, that I am fine that they're gone. So it's like you're not literally dreaming of your friend Linda, but your friend Linda represents your past or things that you want to leave behind. And that's just a little bit of it's a little tweak that makes you think of things differently.
That's scary that you would use the name Linda, because that's my ex-wife, who's the mother of my kids, and she
Oh my
pops up
gosh.
in my dreams all the time. So when you just
Hmm.
said Linda, I'm like, she is freaking psychic. But
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
she
I'm
pops
definitely
up
not.
in my dreams frequently. But yeah,
Yeah.
interesting
So
to
yeah,
know
if
that
that's your
it's
ex,
just the
yeah,
past.
right. It just represents your past life. So, if you're taking Linda out on a date or, taking her to the opera or something, it doesn't mean that you secretly have a desire to date your ex-wife, you know?
Oh no, that's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Right. So dreams about exes, for all of you out there wondering, because I know a lot of people worry about this. Oh no, I had a dream with my ex the other night, and um, it's not that you literally want to get back together with your ex. It's that it just represents a past part of your life. And especially if it's an ex where it was a conscious decision to end the relationship, then that person coming back in your dreams is a reminder that you can consciously make a decision to end the situation that you're in.
Wow. I've got so many questions, but I'll wait until everyone's had a chance to tell their dreams.
Yeah, who else wants to go?
Tim?
I don't remember my dreams like I used to.
Do you
Okay, I've
remember
got
any of your dreams though?
Pardon?
Do you remember any of your dreams? Like, was there one that you had when you were younger that you just remember because it was so weird or profound?
Well, the one about the man in the moon, that,
Hmm.
and that the moon was trying to talk to me. Um,
Is that all you remember?
Was he dressed
there
like a
was
Quaker?
no. Yeah, that's all I remember.
So you had a dream that you saw the man in the moon, like the face came alive
The
and tried to
face
talk
was
to you?
talking to me. Yes.
Okay.
And that was when I was 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, and
Oh wow.
really young.
It must have had a profound impact if you remember it all these years.
Oh yeah. Well, it was a recurring dream. It was a recurring nightmare.
Okay.
Um,
And what was scary about it?
it was just scary that the moon was talking to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, that always
I-
freaks me out, Tim, if the moon starts talking.
Well,
I think I would
What
be
they say, if the moon
scared.
starts talking, you've had too much to drink.
I think the reason I don't have the same experiences because I got to get up at the night every 2 or 3 hours to pee, and then you go back to sleep, and I don't get the deep sleep I used to get.
Yeah. Do you remember what the moon was trying to say to you?
Not at all.
So
That
it was
reminds you-
just that his face looked scary?
I don't.
Do you think you saw that silent movie that was made where they fire
You're talking about, yeah, I know which movie you're talking about.
Yeah.
lance in the moon's eye?
Fire the
Yeah.
rocket into
The
its head.
rocket.
Yes. No, I don't think I'd seen that yet. Hmm. I can't remember. I don't remember any more than that.
Okay, well, let's see what we can get out of this. There's always symbology, even if it's just a little.
Well, there was another one. Well, like when we had a bunk bed, and I was in the top bunk, and okay. This guy Jerry ran the gas station at Santa Monica Airport, And he was a B-17 pilot, and he got blown out of his airplane during the war, and he landed in an apple tree, and the soldier walks up to them and says, "How do you like them apples?" Well, that night or a couple of nights later, I had a dream that I was flying in an airplane and then I got blown out and I fell off the top bunk and I cut my chin right here and bled all over the place and had to go
Oh
to the
my gosh.
hospital.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
How do you like them apples, Tim?
My mother took me to Santa Monica Hospital emergency rooms quite a few times growing up. Probably 3 or 4 times, a time here and a time here, a couple times here. Yeah. Let me see.
Okay, Tim. So the moon symbolizes the unconscious. It's your
Yeah.
intuition and cycles of life and death, and reflective light illuminating hidden aspects of your personality. The face represents the persona, or that social mask that we like, our public face, or emerging self-awareness, which would not be uncommon for a child to have that.
Right.
Self-confrontation or revelation of true identity. The moon transforming into a face personifies the impersonal moon as intimate, suggesting an archetype awakening, which again, for kids, that would be pretty normal. The trying to talk to you indicates intervention from the unconscious, like a voice delivering guidance. Talking figures usually symbolize untapped wisdom seeking expression. And then you being afraid of it reflects a resistance to the shadow or to the unknown. And nightmares usually invoke fear to confront repressed elements, fostering growth through anxiety, which don't ask me how that works, because that doesn't seem like a good way to grow.
But it is a way to grow.
What doesn't kill you makes you
Anxiety,
stronger.
growing through anxiety. I mean, if it's saying growing through anxiety to something else, then yes.
Right. Right. Wow. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can remember. Jules, you go. I can't.
Okay, I've got
It's
one
really
from my
difficult for me to
I've got
remember
one
dreams anymore.
from back in my 20s.
Okay.
But once I started driving, I really got into cars. Really, mainly trucks. And that was my first vehicle, and I got a pickup truck. I did lift it, but it was a 2-wheel drive. It was lifted, and there was another guy that had the same style, and he lifted it very tall, but it was still 2-wheel drive. When we would go to car shows, though, they would still put them in the class for a 2-wheel drive, and then mine was a 2-wheel drive. And most of the time, he won first, most of the time, and then other times maybe I would take first, but most of the time I was coming in second. And you know, we'd do car shows just about every week. And there was this one big car show they were going to do at the Del Mar racetrack there in San Diego. And I remember after he had just done a bunch of suspension work to his vehicle, his truck was white. And for some reason, I had a dream that that weekend, he was going to show up with his truck, and it was going to be black. And also, in the dream continuing, I also saw part of the dream where his truck fell over on its side.
Okay. Do you remember anything else?
Let's see, because I remember, I mean, me and him were pretty good friends, but I just remember pretty much a lot of just that from, I had the dream, remember or the truck the week before I saw it white, and I had this dream about it being black all of a sudden. And then just, he had just really done all his suspension in the teal color. And no, that's just about it.
Okay. Do you remember anything about how you felt?
I think it was always one of the biggest things I always felt was because he turned his little 2-wheel drive truck into a 4-wheel drive, but never attached the front drive shaft. That would make it 4-wheel drive. I thought it was a little unfair that he was being put in 2-wheel drive class for that.
I see.
Because his was like that much taller.
Okay. It's thinking.
I want to link to that thing. I want to.
Yeah, you
After I
can
hear-
go down some serious rabbit holes with it, that's for sure. It's funny because it thinks sort of aloud, like it'll print like one sentence that it's thinking, and as it goes, so it's kind of just funny to watch it go by and then mix and change things.
Yeah, we've got someone saying here, Stephen saying uncomfortable silence, or like my daughter always says, awkward silence.
Breaks
When
the
they're
awkward silence by saying awkward silence.
All right,
You
Stephen.
say, Steve, before you go, tell us any of your dreams and leave them in the chat.
Yes, you guys in the
Identify
chat.
later.
Yeah, leave your dreams.
Yeah, I think one of my subs put one in there. Noxon.
Yes.
Okay, so it says trucks and vehicles symbolize the ego's journey or your direction in life, your social persona, or drive towards goals. Lifted trucks evoke exaggerated power or instability, perhaps overcompensation for perceived vulnerabilities. The other guy's truck is the archetype of the rival. It could embody the shadow or your repressed self, or an animus projection, masculine energy that is admired yet flawed. And then the truck shift from white in reality to black in the dream. White often signifies conscious purity or visibility. Black represents the unconscious shadow or mystery or hidden depths. And the change in those two colors suggests an unconscious transformation or revelation of repressed elements. And the truck falling over represents a loss of balance or hubris or instability. And then the truck being in the wrong class, misplacement symbolizes identity mismatch or not fitting societal categories. And then competition, being in a competition, is that archetypal rivalry, perhaps an inner animus conflict or striving for authenticity amid external validation. So it kind of says, like the overarching narrative says, it's an admiration of the rival's downfall due to instability and a hero's journey critiquing rigid structures in life or society.
Tim can be a pain in the animus sometimes.
The anima?
Animus.
Animus. Interesting.
You know, the funny part of that dream, though, is he did show up with a black truck, and it did fall over.
It did fall over?
It did fall over. He took
Wow, so it came in real life.
Yeah, because what
Wow.
does happen at car shows, people like to show for detail, they like to show their suspension. So they'll remove two wheels. And he took out the two off on one side, and they toppled over. I remember people being around there with different jacks, just trying to pick that thing up.
Wow.
That's what
Well,
it
I
was.
think that's hilarious. I'm glad it happened to him.
Mikey Collins, yeah. I remember him.
The next time we have a silent break, Randy, you do your thing that Megan wanted you to record about your coffee.
I think I did.
She did. Yeah, he did.
You
do it for
did.
me.
Oh, while we were recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have.
Megan, do you
Yeah.
have a dream? Or yes, let's go do Maxine 6.
Yeah, let's see what we. Okay, you got it there.
Where did you pull
This is
that
what-
from, Gene?
Which up a little ways. Oh, it's from Jules' channel.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is one of my setups. I have it linked to my stream.
Okay.
So, that's where AT Chick is on my stream, but I actually met her on Church of Korhor, and Noxon is on my stream.
So Megan, tell me when you're done with this part, and there's one little extra part after.
Okay, one sec.
I'll say at Sunstone, I got to go to church with Megan and Ganesh, and I got to sit next to them while they were singing, and it was very, very wonderful.
What did they sing?
They're very contemporary, be good to your neighbor, no matter what they look like or how they present themselves. And it was cool.
Cool. Very
I asked
cool.
Megan what those squiggly lines and dots were above and below the words. In the hymn
Well,
book.
what do you mean
Acts-
to church? What is that?
We went to the Community of Christ in Midvale, no, Mill
Creek?
Creek, and it's Megan and I both refused to take the sacrament. Although after the bread, I said, Megan, you could take two wines now if you wanted to make up.
Do
for
they
that.
do wine in their sacrament?
Yeah, they have wine.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the
wanted-
actual.
Gene, go ahead and flip to the next.
I kind of wanted Megan to taste the wine because I'm not a wine connoisseur, and see if Megan thought it was a nice Chardonnay or something. I don't know.
Well, doesn't the
Really juice.
Oh, it was probably just grape juice.
It was Bishop. What was her name? Bishop.
Britt
Shoot.
Mangleton.
Oh yeah. Bishop Britt said it was grape juice.
Okay. So Megan and I discussed getting sacrament cups as a way of someday if we do a shot show, Megan could take them out of the sacrament cups. And so since Britt is my friend, I asked her afterwards, and I told her that Megan and I donated a hefty sum of money into the hat that was being passed, or the tray.
I'm not sure
I'm gonna-
$5 is a hefty sum, but all right.
I mentioned my $5. She said, "Oh, that's more than enough."
You didn't drop one of these in there?
I'm gonna do a shout out to Lila, I got Lila's book yesterday.
Yay. I got mine too at Sunstone.
Yeah, she signed it for me. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
can't
to
wait
buy.
to read it. Anyway, yeah. Just do a shout out. All right.
Okay. So in this dream, the girl represents the anima, which is the female side of us, unconscious feminine qualities like sensitivity or creativity that may be underdeveloped or wounded. Her presence suggests a call to integrate these aspects, especially if they feel emotionally disconnected in waking life. The chain and the dragging represents bondage to unconscious complexes, fate, or repressed instincts. Tied to something unseen implies unknown psychic forces pulling the dreamer against his will, like compulsive behaviors or trauma. Dragging evokes a descent into the depths, akin to mythological ordeals leading to renewal. The torn chest or the wound symbolizes emotional core or vulnerability in the heart area. Tearing suggests deep psychic injury, perhaps from a relationship, a loss, or self-neglect. The wounded healer motif, where pain fosters wisdom. And then the person raising their hands and smiling, this paradoxical joy amid suffering indicates ecstatic acceptance, compensation for pain, or denial. Raising hands may symbolize surrender, prayer, or triumph, like religious martyrs finding bliss in torment. It could reflect shadow integration, where embracing suffering leads to transcendence.
So, Megan, maybe you can tell us an experience you had interpreting one of your dreams. And
Well, like I said, I have really vivid dreams all the time, and sometimes I have a recurring dream. And I've had a few in my life that I've written down because they were so significant or seemed really psychologically significant to me at the time. And I haven't shared this very much before, but I had a dream. I was going to see if I could find my little stick figure drawing of it. But I had a dream that I was down near the coastline with my son, and he was very young at the time. And the water started coming up, and there was a chain link fence behind us. Is that it? Nope. Maybe this is the wrong. I think this is the wrong journal that I grabbed. Sorry, guys. Anyway, there was a chain link fence behind us, and the water was coming up in front of us. And the water came all the way up to the fence. And it was sort of impossible because obviously a chain link fence, water's not going to be stopped by it. But in the dream, the water came all the way to the top of the fence, but it didn't go through the fence. And then right after that, the water kind of receded. And I was watching like all of these childhood toys and things that belonged to my son get washed out when the wave went back out. And when I had finished watching them kind of drift away and thinking, oh man, I'm going to have to replace all those toys. And I looked down the shoreline and I could see my son. And right behind him was a gigantic, like 12-foot long alligator. And I knew that there was no way that I could get to him before the alligator got him. But I started running anyway. And just as I started running, the alligator caught him by the heel and started dragging him away. And I went over there and I reached my hand out to him to try to grab him away from the alligator. And somehow the alligator just dropped his heel and went back into the water. And I heard this voice say, I will bring him to the very edge of death, but no farther. So that got my attention.
Wow.
That's really profound.
Yeah. So I wrote all this down, and I drew a picture of it so I wouldn't forget it, because it was one of those dreams that I woke up and it was like the heaviness of it. I could feel it like sitting on my chest, and I knew it had to be important, and I didn't want to forget it. So, I've had enough dreams like that be somewhat premonitory or prophetic, if you want to call it that, where I'll have a dream and then the thing happens very similarly. And so I started changing my behavior based on this dream, actually. I started being much more diligent, like with my son's car seat, making sure it was really buckled and really tight. Well, both of my kids who were in car seats at the time. And I remember being more careful to like cut up all my kids' food so that they wouldn't choke on things. And, being more diligent about like taking their temperature right away when they were feeling sick or whatever. So yada, yada, yada. 4 or 5 years pass. And I think I had the dream twice in that time period, or something similar to it at least. And we were at the pediatrician getting my son his physical. And this was, again, like probably 5 years after I had this dream. And, he was pretty much okay, but he'd been like really lethargic lately. I was kind of worried about that. And it also seemed like he had to urinate all the time, especially when he had, anything that was soda or juice related. So anyway, we're here at the doctor's office, and he's got this really bad sore throat, and he's been really, really tired, and he's, super thirsty because the water isn't helping his sore throat. So the doctor swabs him for strep throat, takes his temperature. No, he doesn't have strep throat, doesn't have a temperature. We go through this whole thing, and the doctor's about to say, well, if it gets worse, why don't you give me a call and let me know? And I said, you know what, just humor me and test his blood sugar. Just, I don't know, just in case. So the doctor tests his blood sugar, and it was so high that it didn't register on the machine. The machine stops at 650.
I was going to say over 600.
Yeah. And so it just was flashing high, high, high. So the doctor said to me, I'm going to go ahead and call the hospital and let them know you're on the way. You're going to go to the, children's ER. And so he called ahead for us. It wasn't that far away. We got there, they started, testing him and doing all the regular stuff that they do, and got him into a room right away, got him IV fluids right away. Turns out that he had type 1 diabetes. And, if I hadn't had them test the blood sugar out of over an abundance of caution that I had developed.
Wow.
Yeah, right when you started saying that he was dry and warm, it's warm and dry, sugar's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool and clammy, needs some candy.
Yeah, and it was weird because I was like, we don't have anybody closely genetically related to us that has type 1 diabetes. So it's not like there was a family history of it or anything, but two of my cousins had it. And my grandfather had type 2, as well as my aunt. So I knew some of the signs, and it just didn't sit right. I was like, I really don't think sore throat is his main symptom. Like that was not, I was like, that's not what we're worried about here.
That's such a blessing that you were vigilant because of that dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, and by the way, Tim, if you're going to read Lila's book, Lula's Bike, you'll want to read the part by Randy C. Watts. You can forget all the other stuff. Because she had me contribute to her book. But anyway, I don't know if you've ever experienced this or not, any of you, but I frequently have dreams where my kids are small again because they're grown now, but
Yeah.
I take them places and they're little again. Like Garrett's just a toddler, and the respective ages go on up, and it's almost heartbreaking to me because I feel like if only I could have that second chance,
Mm.
if I could raise them again and maybe do a better job. But is that a common dream? Has anyone ever experienced that before?
Yes,
I
I
have that
have.
all the time. Yeah.
I have. Yeah.
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 Especially my youngest daughter. My youngest daughter is 15 right now. She's almost 16. And she almost always appears in my dreams as 3 or 4 years old.
That's that's it kind of makes me sad that I don't have any babies anymore.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's not true because now I have Amanda's daughter, and when she became part of my family, she was 4, and now she's 11, going on 12, and I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a second chance for me to adjust my temperament and not being so TBM, not being TBM at all, and how much
Yeah.
smoother things go when I'm not. But I also dream a lot about like my teeth will drop out. Like I'll feel a loose
Yeah.
tooth, and
Hmm.
I start losing my teeth, or I'm losing fingers. I'm somehow getting them cut off, and I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
think
the kid
teeth
one
falling out
first.
is okay.
No, go ahead.
Well, the teeth falling out, I have that occasionally too. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty common. If I remember correctly, and I'll look it up for sure just right after this, but if I remember correctly, teeth falling out symbolizes like a loss of control. So I'll look it up in a second. But I was going to say about the child, adult children appearing young may represent the dreamer's own inner child, the vulnerable, playful, or wounded part of themselves projected onto their offspring. This suggests unresolved emotional needs or past experiences that the dreamer associates with their child's early years. For example, seeing a child as small might reflect nostalgia, regret for lost time, or a desire to nurture aspects of oneself neglected in adulthood.
That makes sense.
Randy, you
Yeah.
had kind of a tough childhood with your bad dad being sort of physically abusive.
Yeah, yeah, I sure did. And yeah, that's exactly right.
So, Megan, you mentioned that from your one dream that you were a little bit more vigilant and take care of your children and stuff like
Yeah.
that. What other things do people do with the information that they get from these dream interpretation?
Mostly Jungian dream interpretation is really about figuring out yourself and your own psyche. It is meant to tell you through symbology what you're not just what you're thinking about, but really what you need to do. And so that's kind of what I like about it is that it's like, well, this symbolizes something that you're trying to leave, behind a bad habit or something like that. So then you can take that information forward and say, okay, well, if the universe is trying to bring this out of my subconscious, I'm already kind of thinking about it. But Jung posited that that's why we have dreams. It gives our subconscious a chance to speak, sort of, to air out what it wants you to know or to hear or to feel. So what I like about it is that, I look at it as an opportunity to learn something from my subconscious, something that I probably already know, but I haven't integrated it into my thinking yet.
My issue is a lot of the dreams I have are symbolic. Are prophetic.
And that's a problem because
Let me know. Let me know, Tim, when you dream you're a millionaire, and then I'll be nicer to you.
Well, because it's scary at some terms. Like I have premonitions and I know something's going to happen, but it could be years away before it happens, or it could happen within a week or two.
we should write them down and analyze them because maybe it's not a prophecy. Maybe it's trying to tell you something about your psyche.
No, these are prophecies. These are things that happen. They're not just psyche. Yeah, I have written them down in the past. They're not just psyche. They are things that are. Well, I'm really tuned into a lot of things, and it scares me. How to articulate it, but it's just because stepping into this time, it just can be troubling, I guess is the word. Maybe not scary, but troubling.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting how a dream will stay with you throughout the day or throughout the week, or maybe even like
when Trump attacked Syria back in 2017, I was taking a nap and I saw fire and flame, and I walk out in the living room and the TV's on. My friends are watching this attack on Syria, and I said, I just had a dream about that. I just dreamt that. I just saw that. And there are other things that have happened. I turn the TV on or on the radio and I hear, I just had that premonition.
Just as long as you're not causing all these disasters to happen across the world.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of my dreams lately are like that. They're premonition.
Megan, would you want to share the website, or are these things people can just do a quick search and get it?
Yeah, I mean, I found this through a program that I was doing for part of my therapy, and it's a membership thing, but you can find free ones online that are pretty good. You can just search for Jungian dream interpretation, and they might not be quite as detailed, but they are just as good with symbology usually.
Yeah, Jung is very good with symbology and dreams.
Well, I was walking along the banks of the river when 7 fat cows jumped out of the Nile. That's from Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, if you haven't seen it. The king is talking about his dreams, and that's one talent that Joseph had, an ability, was to interpret the dreams. And that's one of the more famous numbers in it. Megan, I know you've probably are familiar with the soundtrack from Joseph. But that's what I keep thinking of as we recount our dreams, is that, I see the Pharaoh saying, "Tell me, Joseph, pretty please, what do these crazy dreams mean?"
I put
and then
something I saw really quickly, a free guide people can use. I put it in the chat.
It's right out of a Star magazine, right? Or the Inquirer. How to interpret your dreams.
Probably something that you used to order for $1.
Yeah.
In the mail.
Was Megan ever in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think she.
Now,
I
Songs
think
of Our
she's
Own
not
said
hearing
she.
us.
Yeah, Songs of Our Own says she was.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you were Potiphar's wife because he made money
Wow.
making pyramids.
Wow.
My son was
Wow.
one of the sons singing all the different songs. You know.
I've never
Right.
heard the soundtrack. I'll have to find it.
Have you ever seen the movie with Donny Osmond playing Joseph? It's really, really entertaining.
There's a
I would
movie?
heartily suggest it. Well, yeah, it's a film production of the Broadway play,
It's excellent.
and they did it on film. It's really good, and the
Is it
soundtrack
on?
is a freaking amazing.
It's too bad Songs couldn't come on and sing one of the Potiphar's wife songs.
We'll make that next week's stream.
Maybe she can record it and just send it to me and Randy.
I'm trying to think if Potiphar's wife had any musical numbers. Did they songs? Did she? I don't think that Potiphar's.
Donnie is really good in it. I like his long hair. I think it's really his. So the song says singing, but no solos. So I'm wondering if Songs learned all of Joseph's songs. Did she sing those while driving and stuff like that? Did she sing along with the tape?
Oh, I know she does. Everyone who's watched that has to memorize. I closed my eyes, drew back the curtains. Whoa, whoa.
Sorry, guys. I was not in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Who wrote it?
Not that one.
Is that one of? Is that?
The big writer.
Yeah.
Guy who writes everything.
What's his name? Yeah.
Who wrote Jesus Christ Superstar?
Tim Rice.
Well, no, that's not
Andrew
who
Lloyd
did
Webber
Joseph,
and Tim
though.
Rice.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. That's what I was.
Andrew
Tim
Lloyd
Rice
Webber.
was the
Trying to think of.
lyricist, and Andrew Lloyd Webber was the musician, obviously.
They were a good collaboration.
Oh, I'll have to find it. Never seen it. I didn't know it was a.
Almost like what's his name? Benny and the Jets.
Elton John.
Elton John and his collab.
John, yeah.
Who wrote with Elton John? That was kind of like the quiet.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh. Come on, chat. Who wrote with John? Who? So, right on the tip of my tongue.
Bernie Taupin.
Okay.
Bunny.
She's singing it now. Of course she is.
Well, is that it for dreams? Nobody else has a dream?
Anybody in the chat?
In
Come
the
on.
chat, yeah.
Because I'm ready for bed.
I'll bet you are. You had a long day.
A long weekend. Long week.
Long weekend. I'm
weekend.
still catching up from this weekend.
Well, this dream interpreting takes a lot out of a person.
She wants to go have more dreams.
Well, I was going to say I love staying with my sister, but she has 7 children, and one of them is on a mission right now, and the 2 older ones are at school, but they're still living in her basement apartment. And in addition, she decided to let my nephew live with her for a little while until he finds a place to live. So there were 10 of us in her house last night, or not 2 nights ago.
Wow.
And it was not quiet.
You know what I think's weird? I've had it to where I've been in a real intense dream, and then I get up to pee, or something happens and wakes me up, and then I go to sleep, and the dream continues on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that
Oh,
ever happen to any of y'all?
Yep.
or it continues the next day.
Or yeah, or
Yeah.
the next day.
Or you
I
wake up
per,
out about waking up out of a dream, and you're still in a dream.
Yes.
yeah.
That happens
Well,
to me too.
I
Yeah.
have one more question for you, Megan, before you retire.
Mhm.
For the longest time, for actually a couple of years, I had a recurring dream. It was always about a hotel, that I was in a hotel and I was needing to catch a plane. And it was not necessarily the destination that I would dream about, but the fact that I had to get on a plane. And I wouldn't find out until the last minute. And then I had to pack all of my clothes out of this hotel, get everything packed, and get to the airport before that plane flew. And it was frustrating. It was tiring in my dreams because it was a recurring dream, and it would, night after night, um, I would I would face this dilemma where I had to get everything packed up and get onto that plane. Um, and I mean, there's a lot of recurring dreams that I have, but that's one that went over and over and over again. And every night I'm like, oh no, this is one of those dreams where I'm going to be in a mad rush to catch my plane, and everyone else is getting on it, and I'm still packing up the stuff in my room.
Yeah.
Anything
Songs
you
of
can tell me
Sandra.
about that?
There's a hotel called California. That's what songs would say.
Totally different.
You can check out anytime you want, right? But
You can never leave.
You know what that song's about, don't you?
It's about death.
It's about debt. DEBT. It's about debt.
Wow.
Oh, I did not know
That
that.
makes me think of it differently.
Yeah, I know. That's one interpretation that I heard. I thought, interesting.
So, Randy, planes symbolize journeys, transitions, or aspirations towards a higher consciousness. They're often linked towards to major life changes or spiritual ascent. The hotel represents a temporary space, a place of rest or transition, often tied to the psyche's need for reflection or reorientation. It might symbolize a pause to integrate life changes or a search for a new home in the self.
See, this
Being
goes right
worried,
along, Megan,
does
with
it?
my leaving the church, because that's when it all
Mm,
occurred.
oh, wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
No, that's
apologize.
Okay.
okay. No, I
Here's a
appreciate
dream
that.
I had a long
Hang
time
on,
ago.
Randy. Or sorry,
Okay.
hang on, Tim. I'm reading Randy's dream.
Oh, sorry.
Um,
Sorry.
the worry about lateness indicates anxiety about time running out or missing opportunities. It may compensate for a conscious denial of aging or procrastination in addressing personal growth. Not being packed in time symbolizes the unpreparedness or feeling unready for a significant change, possibly linked to the shadow. Repressed aspects like fear of inadequacy or failure. The fact that the dream is recurring, Jung saw recurring dreams as urgent calls from the unconscious, signaling an unresolved complex or life issue that persists until integrated. The repetition underscores the importance of addressing the underlying tension.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. I think that I seriously think that ties into my faith transition,
Hmm.
the deconstruction.
Yeah, that would make sense. Tim, you said you had another dream.
Well, okay. I've talked about it before. I'm in the church with my daughter, Sarah. And as we're in the building transforms into a different building. It morphs into a whole different shape. And as we're leaving, it's changing. And then once we get outside, we look at it and it doesn't even look like an LDS chapel anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That was after they X'd me.
Yep.
Very profound dream.
Yep.
Yeah.
It gets
And now
kind of
look
where a lot of
where
times I can tell what it's going to say.
and it's amazing. I had that dream like 24 years ago, and look at what's happened to the church now, how much it's changed in all that time.
Yeah. So obviously, a church in a dream symbolizes your spiritual center, your collective beliefs, and it represents a sacred space for meaning. But its transformation suggests instability in your spiritual or existential framework. Duh. The daughter being with you likely represents the inner feminine, your emotions, your intuition. Um, Her presence may reflect your emotional connection to your daughter or a projection of your own inner vulnerability. The morphing building, transformation of a stable structure into something unrecognizable, symbolizes a shift in worldview, faith, or identity, a destabilizing yet potentially liberating process. The unrecognizable exterior of the church is, it says, the failure to recognize the church upon leaving suggests disorientation or loss of familiar anchors, compensating for clinging to outdated beliefs or rules.
Yep.
Spot on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Yes. Yeah. I had a lot of shamanic dreams about death and dying when I was going through in the 90s, through a lot of transformation, changing things,
Yeah.
seeing things, the typical, you know. I also dreamt I had a salamander on my wrist. It was changing me, helping me change.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's like
That's
getting a
cool.
tattoo there. I know.
What does shamanic mean, Tim? I've heard you refer to that.
Um, okay, it's the hero's journey. Um, okay, let me pull out my 5 stages of the hero's journey. Okay, get Roger Walsh's The Spirit of Shamanism, which is, in my opinion, much better than Campbell. Uh, it's what we all are going through this. There's 5 stages. The hero's life as a more or less conventional citizen. And then we get a call to adventure and awakening. And then there's the period of discipline and training and completing the quest, and the final phase of return and contribution to society, which is where a lot of us are at right now, telling people who were in it, you got to come out of it and it'll be a lot better. Even though it's hard to see, it's much better on the outside than the inside.
Right.
I wrote a paper about this. Maybe I'll put it in our group chat called Joseph Smith and the Hero's Journey. And I took each one of those and broke it down and showed how in Joseph's life followed this, at least how it's portrayed in the history of the church. That shamanic dreams are dreams of transformation, where you dream you die and you see your bones and your skeleton, and the skin falls off, and you become part of the earth. You decay and literally become part of the earth, and then you're resurrected. You rebuild yourself. You're rebuilding yourself and your soul, and your identity, and rising up out of it. And it just doesn't happen once. It happens a lot in our life. Every time we reach a new precipice or new change, I'll have a dream similar to that again and again. I look at it like a spiral, that we're always moving upward in this journey. And every time we
So
get to
the
a
root word
landing,
of that is shaman, then, right?
Yes.
pretty
Shaman,
much.
shamanic.
Shamanic, yeah, shaman, yeah. Joseph Smith was a shaman in many ways. There's a lot of shamans in the Book of Mormon. I gotta tell Ganesh that. That interview you did with him today really blew me away at a few points. But
Yes,
yeah.
Megan did a great job interviewing Ganesh today.
Ganesh, yeah.
Thank you.
Head over to
that.
Megan's channel for that.
Well, when he said that the Amish were like the 500 sons of Helaman, I went, oh, stripling. I never connected that. And I always knew that there was a connection between the War of 1812 and Joseph. And people kept on telling me, no, there wasn't. But I said the war happened near him, so how could he not have known about it? So,
Near him in time.
Near him in time. That's
Right.
So, yeah.
Songs testifies that Megan's interview today was great.
It was top notch. I mean, it was really top notch. I'm glad I found it when I did. I would just listen to somebody else. Oh, I think I was listening to Generally Unquotable, and then I was flipping. Oh, Megan's got one. Bang.
Plus, we get to hear Ganesh talk for 2 hours, right, Megan?
Yes. Yes.
That's right. Exactly. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the kind words. I often wonder if I'm adequately helping, or if it's just that I have good guests.
Well,
I'll go back and watch it because I was at work.
So, Megan, tell us what you have coming up this week.
Excuse me.
Well, I have a bunch of stuff that I'm working on. Sorry, I'm trying to help kids and dogs and whatnot. I'm going to do another Lori video. I still haven't done her sentencing statement, and I like to put her on mute and just read the transcript. So that should be pretty much wrapping things up, I think. I'm not really sure I need to cover anything else after that. There might be something. I always have to leave room for, something that I've forgotten, because it's been a whirlwind trying to get back to regular life. So I've got that one. I've got an episode about the death penalty and the Koberger case that's going to be coming out. My bully proof course is on sale until midnight, but if you email me at askmegan, meegan.com, I will go ahead and extend for you whenever you see this video. What else? I know I have like 4 or 5 different things on my list. I just don't have my list in front of me. but I'm busy with, I've got lots of interviews coming up from all the people that we met at Sunstone. And so, yeah, it's going to be good.
That's right. And I'm hoping Randy and I can interview with like a recap of the Lori.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that.
And so we'll figure it
I
out.
thought we did that. Did we not just do that?
So it was
My
up
channel.
to the time.
Oh,
It was up to whatever happened. We didn't. Megan's thing was reviewing this people's statements and stuff. So we're going to do like a higher level, 40-minute cut to the chase. Megan's going to not get anything wrong with the timelines. Gonna have everything
oh
perfectly-
man, I got a really bad one wrong. In my exhaustion during the sentencing hearing, I mistakenly said that that Joe Ryan was Colby's biological dad. And man, I think I've gotten 643 comments so far that have said, Colby was not Joe Ryan's biological son. So I got that one thing wrong. And they came for me.
That's right.
And don't forget to ask Tricia the question I wanted you to ask her.
I did ask her. And I don't know. We're going to have to talk about it because I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
I'll just
okay.
say, Randy's looking for something, and I've scoured and scoured for it, and I can't find it anywhere.
Okay.
Randy always has
too
to say
good.
something really, really cryptic at the end.
Yeah, well, now the pressure's on,
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, I guess I've said it. I've already said it. Yeah. My crypticism is well and good.
There you go.
Well,
so I've linked in the chat, doing your own dream interpretations, because a lot of times people on the spot can't think of the dreams that they wanted to say.
Oh,
And
thanks,
so
Gene.
we have weeks and weeks and weeks ahead of us to check out what our dreams are. And like I say, no matter what, get professional help.
Yes.
Yes, please don't
Which
let
might
AI
be
be your
Megan.
therapist.
Yeah, AI is not a therapist. It's not a
No,
real
not
person.
when Megan showed us what AI is telling people to do.
Yeah.
Not after
Yes,
last
that's
week.
another episode I have that I'm researching right now. It's going to be a while, though, because there's a lot.
I'll bet there is. Scary.
Yeah.
well, cool.
Yeah. So Randy and I are going to interview Ron Jorgensen coming up.
Oh,
We're going
good.
to talk about, I think, failed prophecies from Joseph Smith.
Good.
I'm sure that's what it is. Let me double check. But anyhow, and
Ron and I go way back.
you go way back
Oh,
with Ron.
Cool.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. How's that? Tell us a little bit about that.
It's cryptic.
That's the cryptic one.
So you have to decrypt it.
You go way back. A long time ago, you guys backed up into each other. Yeah, false prophecies. So that'll be kind of fun. He says he's found some new ones. And
Wow.
we're gonna link to
Precision.
some other shows that he's done with the other ones, and then we'll do like a 40 or 50-minute show and hit these new ones.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I love you guys. Thank you for letting
you
me
too.
interpret your dreams.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to go try to have some
Good
dreams
night.
myself.
Right?
All right.
Get some rest.
Megan, you're the cat's
Get some rest.
meow
Thanks.
of these knees.
Good night.
That's right.
Good night.
Okay.
And
Good night.
and we'll end the show. Thanks everybody for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Do the things. See you next Tuesday. If you ever want to put suggestions for topics, feel free to put them in the comments
Down there.
of our podcast, and we'll check them out, because we totally have no idea what we're going to do next week or the rest of our
Not
lives.
right now, anyway. Whatever
No.
we come up with during the week.
We're
This-
free
this was
falling since we're quoting songs tonight.
Free falling.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Anything else, Randy?
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything else to surprise the audience with?
No, we'll be signing off from the Oregon West Coast and Nomo Momo.
That's
Momo
right.
Nomo.
And from
What
the
color?
ABQ.
Did you get a hoodie, Randy?
Yeah, Amanda bought us matching hoodies. They're black, and they're Reebok, and they're so soft they feel like butter.
Wow.
So
That's nice.
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
We don't
Were
want
they
you
dry
freezing
fit?
on the Oregon coast.
It's too cold here.
I'll bet it is.
What were you saying, Jules?
Were they dry fit? Is that why they're so soft?
Heck if I know, Jules. It just feels
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Look at the label, take a picture of it, and send it to Jules.
Yeah.
And me too, because I wanna know what is smooth as butter.
Yeah, it's probably dry
Okay.
fit. Like,
Cool.
which is just really.
Well, I asked her if they had anything in mayonnaise, but she said no, just butter.
Butter.
So